Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Amina, and in today's video I'm doing something a little bit different. Ever since I announced that I gave birth to a child, I've had questions about my newborn essentials, and I just didn't feel like it was right for me to film an essential video when I didn't actually know whether or not something was essential post the point of having to use it. So my son is now 9 months old almost. What day is today? Next week he's 9 months old, which is actually crazy. So he's been out in this world as long as he was in. So and so I feel like I've gone past that stage where I was unsure about things I needed, whether things were actually necessary or whether they were just like a massive ploy for you to buy them. Just to give you my stance on things, just so you know kind of where I'm coming from. This is my first child, but I think firstly, having a child during this whole pandemic has meant that I didn't have a lot of time to like look around and really do that baby shop. So I think that was like a blessing in disguise, because honestly, we didn't buy very much. We bought a pushchair 2 months after he was born. No, 3 months after he was born, we bought his pushchair. And genuinely, I think if you're a mum, if you're soon to be mum and you're thinking about what to get, I would say buy as you need. And that's kind of the thing, the kind of direction and the kind of ethos that we had. We didn't buy things in advance. We only bought things that we knew we'd need, and then we'd buy things as we needed them. Honestly, the one thing that I'm going to take away before I start this is that kids grow out of things very quickly, and so there's no need to buy a whole load of 0 to 3 clothes. Like, they won't wear it very much. They'll wear it once, and then you have to like get rid of it and get the next size up. So our stance has been quite minimal, but obviously there's still a lot of things that kids need. So we have got quite a few things, but in general, we've kind of bought as we've needed them. So of course, I'll leave the link for everything down below, so you can go and click and go and check them out if you're interested. Let's start off with for me, so for the mama, and pre and kind of post pregnancy, there were 2 items that I would say were absolutely essential. The first I've got right here is this Neal's Yard Remedy Mother's Balm. Now I just randomly picked this up. I was in Neal's Yard. I really like Neal's Yard for their stuff. As someone who suffers from eczema, I tend to be quite careful about kind of the skincare that I use. So I came across this in John Lewis first, and I bought it. I just thought, you know what, it's 20 something pounds, kind of pricey, but I thought, you know what, let's just try it out. I don't, honestly, I don't care about stretch marks. No one sees my body except for my husband, and he does not care about stretch marks. And your husband shouldn't care about stretch marks. And I don't, honestly, like it. The stretch marks, if I did end up with them, would have given me a child, so I genuinely wouldn't have cared. But I don't have a single stretch mark. Not even a little, not even nothing. So this actually, it says it nourishes and helps to reduce the appearance of stretch mark. And aloe oil is there to help scars once they've already occurred and once they've already happened. Whereas this is meant to protect your skin from ever having those stretch marks in the first place. Now, I don't know whether I was genetically disposed to not have stretch marks, or whether, because I can't do a control because I can't not have a baby. I had the baby. So this is not a scientific test, but I don't have a single stretch mark. So I actually use this, I would say twice a day from the moment I found out I was pregnant. So even though I didn't show for quite a while, maybe 4 or 5 months, I was using it religiously every day, every night. Like, I was just lathering my stomach up with this. So don't wait until you're in your 2nd or 3rd trimester where your skin has already stretched. Start using it as soon as you find out you're pregnant. And this is my 3rd, I went through 2 when I was pregnant, and I'm still using it now. It's so good. It's like this. It's sort of like a kind of bitty. I can't really explain it, but it's like made of coconut oil and 100% organic oils. And also remember, like, this is whatever's on your skin is going to seep into your bloodstream. And for me, you've got a baby right there growing, and the last thing I want is to put chemicals that I don't know on my skin. So I felt comfortable using this. And the second thing is a bouncy gym ball. It's good for posture. It helps you sit up straight. It helps with your core and with balance and things like that. And then, oh my gosh, when I was pregnant, it was amazing. I would sit on the desk on my ball. I would bounce all day. I would do different stretches on it, and especially towards the end. And when I was in labor, I was using the ball the whole time, and we've just deflated it. And it's actually a newborn essential as well, because I found that in the early days when you're rocking your baby to sleep, it's quite nice to have that like natural bounce, so you don't have to kind of rock on the chair. And actually, he even loved playing with it, so I'd kind of like lay him down, put the ball on top of him, and kind of like bounce it, and he'd absolutely go crazy for it. So that's also very cool, essential. So moving on to sleeping, the first thing is a swaddle. Now a swaddle really helps with the startle reflex, so it stops the babies from kind of going like that and waking themselves up. So I would swaddle Sufyan in the night and all of his naps. We only bought one swaddle. In hindsight, I'd probably get two, just because I feel like we had to like wash it and wait for it to dry at the same time, and there's a bit of a panic in between. But you really don't need more than two swaddles. They were really great because they not only helped with like obviously swaddling him, but also it was a blanket. You could also use it as like a pushchair cover as well. So it's like a nice stretchy material. I personally like the Aiden and Nene ones, and I also like the Solly baby ones as well. I also really enjoyed having a baby bedside crib. And I got the snuzz cots. In those early days, you wake up so many times, like every hour or two. Up until about maybe 6 months, I was waking up every kind of couple of hours. And it would be such a headache to have to like stand up and go to the cot or go to the other room. So just having him right next to me, where I didn't even stand up, like I would just grab him when I'm lying down, put him next to me and feed him. So it's really helpful to have like a bedside cot as well. Next thing that we didn't realize we needed until we actually needed it was a night light. Again, it's one of those things that you hear people say you need, and you're like, no, you don't need that, we've got lights everywhere. But then you realize actually the first day we came back home, put the light on and we were like, oh crap, it's so bright. So we bought a night light the next day, and you can kind of like change the type of light, like a yellow light or like a bright white light, and kind of, you know, the intensity of it as well. And we just found it really useful. So when I woke up in the middle of the night, I don't have to like turn the light on and wake everyone up, and kind of like obviously it's really bright for yourself and for the baby as well. Okay, so for daytime use, I have quite a few things, and I might just leave a few links for other things down below. The things I really couldn't live without in the beginning is a baby bouncer, and we were luckily gifted by my parents the baby born bouncer, and it's something that they asked us like, what do you want? And we asked for that, and it was just the best bouncer. I found it so easy to use. It's just foldable. I did a lot of research before as well, like which one I wanted. Like I said in the beginning, like we just want things that you can fold away and just put it away. If you look in our living room right now, there's nothing that shows that we have a child here. And he's 9 months old. Like he has a lot of toys, but we just kind of keep things as neat and tidy as possible, and just not kind of over clutter the place, because otherwise you can get messy very quickly. Folds away so well. And the other thing that I found was that his legs were strengthened after a few months of using it, because it has like this ergonomic like bouncer mechanism where you don't have to touch them. Like as he kicks, he bounces it naturally. And after a while, like he just got so strong just from bouncing it naturally, and he absolutely loved it. Now that he's almost 9 months old, we very rare, like maybe like once a week he will use it if I'm going to the bathroom and I have to like strap him in, but otherwise we don't use it anymore at all, and that's absolutely fine. I mean, these things aren't meant to last forever, and like I said, it is our first child, so hopefully we can use it again in the future sometime. Another thing that I really loved is having a baby carrier, and I think again it was another essential, especially as we didn't buy a pushchair for the first like 3 months. We were in lockdown. Where are we gonna go? We just had a car seat and that was all. So I bought the Ergo baby carrier. I think it was the Embrace, and I still use it today. I used it yesterday. I just like fold it, put him in, and I can just go for a walk, and it's just so easy. Especially now that like I'm not going anywhere, we're literally going nowhere. So having like a baby carrier is so handy. I thought I'd use it more around the house, but I actually don't. I've got more of a mindset where I kind of want him to just like roam and like do what he wants. So I don't like the idea of like tying him up and kind of keeping him on me. I don't want him to get used to that. So I actually don't do that very often. I probably did it once or twice ever. But I find it so useful to use outside for a walk. It just makes you feel hands-free. It feels like I'm back to like in my old life where I don't have to have a pushchair and like just attachments. I just want to be free. So I love having like that. It's such a comfortable carrier. Now that he has like neck strength, I turn him around, so I make him face the world, and that's another way that he can like learn and kind of pick up, you know, signals around the world and pick up signals from his environment. Especially now that we're in lockdown. We've been in lockdown for his whole life. He has seen no one, and I think I'm a bit concerned about the fact that like he hasn't interacted with anyone, and I think having him in a carrier and making him face the world at least allows him to like see other faces and see other people and see things that he isn't otherwise experiencing in these formative years of his life. So that's definitely something that like, even if I can take the pushchair, I won't take it. Like I'll put him in the carrier and I'll let him like look around, and he loves it. He's always smiling, and I absolutely love it too. I also got a Leander changing mat. I did a bit of research about changing mats. It was one of those things that I just thought I'd get like a whatever changing mat. But then I realized actually they tear, they get damaged. Bacteria can kind of sit in the edges and you have to kind of repurchase a couple of times. And again, this is my first child, so hopefully I'll be able to use the same changing mat a couple of times. This changing mat is the best. It's padded, it's really soft, it's long lasting. It's a little bit heavier than your average changing mat, but for the most part it's usually just on the bed or on the floor or wherever, so it's not something that you have to like carry around with you all the time. And it's just so neutral as well. I really like it. It's one of my favorite things that I got. Another essential is some sort of like oil for your baby's body. We just bought some, you know, like baby oil, Johnson's baby oil, whatever, without realizing that actually babies don't need all of that sort of chemicals and harsh products on their skin. And research shows that it can lead to skin issues. So what I did was I made this mix. It's made of shea butter and coconut oil. So it's things that you might have in your house already, and I just melted it on the stove, and it has such a buttery finish, and it's just natural. And even till now, he's 9 months old, and I still just use olive oil or something like this on his face and on his body, even on his hair as well. So moving on to organization. So this is an interesting one. Again, like I've tried to be really minimal with how many things I've purchased for him in terms of clothes. One, we haven't been going out, and two, like they grow out of it so quickly, it's ridiculous. And again, I thought I'd be like one of those like new mums who bought so many things for their child, but I really am not. I'm just waiting for him to get a bit older so I can invest in like actual things that he can wear for a bit of, you know, longer time frames. So what we did was we bought a kind of like clothes caddy, which actually is for nappies. So people use those for nappies, but we have his whole wardrobe in there, and that's all that he has. Luckily we were gifted some clothes from like his cousins and his aunties from my husband's side who have kids already, so that was something that we were really lucky and really appreciative for. But even before that, we had only that small caddy of clothes, so enough clothes like that he can wear for a week, one like a new pair of clothes every single day, a new vest every day, a new PJ every day, and then we just wash once a week, and that was it. He grows out of clothes so quickly. It really isn't important, guys, to buy a lot of clothes. Don't do it. Don't do it. Another thing that you need is also a nappy caddy. So I got a smaller nappy caddy than what people usually use. All you need in there is nappies, like a cream, like a nappy anti-rash cream, and I've got an olive oil and wipes. That's all that I have in there. You don't need all the rest of this faff. That's literally all you need. Like, just keep it as minimal as possible. It saves you like the mental space, and it also just means that your space is neat and tidy and you're not faffing around with like random things that you really don't need. Okay, moving on to feeding. I am exclusively breastfeeding, and like I said, he's 9 months now, and I haven't yet introduced him to formula. I guess the pump that you choose to buy is really up to you. I just bought a pump so I can at least have some milk for him that he can use when I go out, when I go to work. I used to have, well, when we were allowed to do things, I used to go and film, have meetings, things like that. So I needed to have a couple of hours to myself, and during that time I wanted him to obviously have the milk that I had pumped. And these bottles are really, really good. They're the MAM self-sterilizing bottles, and because I wasn't formula feeding, I didn't need to have the whole like sterilizing sets and things like that. So we got the bottles that sterilize themselves, and it's really, really easy. So all you do, let me just put this down here, all you do is you have the bottom bit, so there's quite a few parts compared to like the normal bottle because it is self-sterilizing, but it's totally worth it. So it has the bottom part, you put a bit of water there, you put the lid bit on top like that, you then put the main body on top, and then you put the actual lid cap thing on top, and you put that in the microwave for, I think it's 2 minutes, and then you let it cool down, and it's completely sterilized until you open this up, and then obviously then it breaks the sterilization seal. So this was such a lifesaver because it meant that we didn't have to like, whenever I used it, maybe like once a month or once every couple of weeks, it meant that we could sterilize really quickly without having to faff around with other kind of gadgets. So definitely highly recommend if you're someone who is, even if you're bottle feeding, honestly, like this is so easy. It's you can just do that, close it up, and you've got a sterilized bottle, good to go. The next absolute essential with feeding is this feeding apron bib thing, and it's for use in public. And again, like I said, we didn't go out that much, but there was like this gap in London between, I think it was like August, September and October, where things were totally like normal. And we were going out and doing all these things. So I was like, okay, no, I need something. I was going to Central, I was going to parks and going to Westfield, whatever, and restaurants, and I needed to have a bib because I realized that places just don't have breastfeeding. And you know what, I also don't want to go to those rooms with breastfeeding rooms. I just want to do it where I am. Like, I don't want to have to like get up and like take my child. So I just got this thing. It's really cool. I got from Amazon. My sister-in-law gifted it to me, so thank you for that. You just put it over your head like this, like an apron, and you can you see that? You've got like this gaping hole, and so your baby is down there, and this covers you on both sides, and you just feed and then pass the baby to your husband, let your husband deal with him, and then you just take this off. Button up and take it off. So yeah, it was super helpful. I think it's really inexpensive. I haven't used it in months now, just because the last time we went out was like, I don't know, October. But when I did go out, I can't leave the house without this. The thing that I find absolutely essential is reusable breast pads. Now, whenever I've told someone that I use reusable breast pads, they was like, what? Reusable? I didn't know that there was an alternative. I thought everyone used reusable breast pads, purely because that's what I saw my mum using for my like siblings. So I just thought that was the norm. So when I was like buying some before I gave birth, I searched for reusable breast pads, and that's what I bought. And then I discovered that apparently people use disposable ones. So they are the best. I'll buy some from Boots, but they were so thin and they're horrible and they don't absorb anything. So the one that I ended up getting came in a pack of 12, and I used them all since I've given birth. So 9 months now I've been using them on a daily basis. They are, is it 10 layers thick? They are very absorbent, very absorbent, especially in the beginning when I was super like leaky. They're super absorbent. I cannot commend them enough. And you know, the thing is, you wash clothes at least, I would say, once every 4 or 5 days. So I just stick them in the wash, and they dry within a day, and you're good to go again. They haven't failed me at all. So I'll link the one that I specifically use. I wouldn't recommend any other brand. I've tried other ones. They're super thin and really bad. This is the only one I'd recommend. Another essential is a high chair. We started weaning him at around 5 months, but only seriously around 6 months or so. I'm using the baby-led method of weaning. I think I fed him pureed food only for about a week in the beginning. I hated the experience. It was messy. It just felt unnatural. It felt unnatural to have to like mash food and then give it to him. And it was just messy, and I just felt like he has to learn how to do this himself. And so I did a bit of research, and I came across the baby-led weaning. I had no idea what it was before, and I just dived down this route, and I absolutely love it. We just prepare food as soft as possible. So like, we'll steam it. Yesterday we tried like runner beans, and we just put it in the steamer, make it nice and soft. He picks it up and he eats it himself. And we've done that now. So now he's on like pasta, and he's eating actual food, bread, things like that. So now he's at the level where he kind of almost eats what we eat for the most part. We ended up going for the stocky high chair. Stocky? I don't know how you say it. But we ended up going with that high chair. Again, I think I've said this a few times now, but I don't like things that look like they're for babies, and that are just overbearing on the eye. Like, why does a high chair have to be 5-6 different colors? Like, why? So I love the fact that you can get like more muted colors. I love the design. I love that it's a chair that can grow with him. Again, you know, we're not in our forever home, so I want something that I know that if I take to a different location, he will still be able to use and will still fit into our interior, and he will still have that comfort level. And you know, because we didn't spend that much money on other things, we were okay to kind of splurge on that. So that was something that we went for, and he's absolutely loved it. He loves sitting in it and just eating whatever I give him. So super easy to clean. Literally just wipe it, and yeah, that's probably one of the most important pluses that I was looking for. Easy to clean. Another essential is some sort of like small cup. So I went for these small cups. There's a set of 3. They are from a company called, I think, Done by Deer, and I think I got them from like the Natural Show website, I think. Whereas I think you can get them from like John Lewis and stuff as well. So you can get them everywhere. They are multi-purpose. Firstly, they're meant for drinking. So when he wants some water and he's finished his meal, I'll put some in here and I'll give it to him. And it's like an open cup. So it encourages him to sip water as opposed to the sucking motion that he's used to. So I found that really useful. We haven't got any other like water training cups. I just didn't feel the need. I felt like, you know what, he needs to learn how to use this. There's no point of like going through the different stages. Just go for this. Also, I love a multi-purpose thing. So I also love that you can use it to feed him as well. This isn't microwavable friendly, but what I do is I'll put like Weetabix in it if I want to give him something for breakfast. And then I'll put hot water, boiling water into it with like some blueberries or something. Let it sit for about a minute and it cools down straight away and it's at the temperature that I want it to be at. So I use it for that. Sometimes I use it to defrost like fruits or other items that he might want to use. Or even to put like some of his veg into. So it's multi-purpose and I really love that. And I love that it has like this little cute, if you look inside, I don't know if you can see that, but it has these cute little, well, this is an elephant, this is a hippo, and the other one has, I don't know what it has, but yeah, it's cute, I know, it's kind of cute. I was so close to returning it, like when it came I was like, and then I realized actually I can use it for quite a few things, and in the end it can become his cup. I must admit, I thought I'd just give him like a normal regular cup first, but the tilt is just too high and he ended up like tilting it too far. So I found that actually a small cup, even though it's a bit annoying to have to get like another thing, they are quite useful. Okay, so moving on to teething. There are a couple of things that I've used for teething. He has got his 2 little teeth now, they're so cute. But before, I would say around the 4-month mark, we started to get him teething toys, just to get him used to like biting things and just to, I guess, to play with as well. This was the first thing we got, the newbie one, and it's cool. I think it's essential even when a baby's a newborn, just because they can like hold it and play with it. It's like a good kind of size for them to hold and play with. I later on found this. It's a banana toothbrush thing, and it has like these bristles and he bites on the bristles. So he likes firstly biting on the bristles and he loves like holding it. It's really small, really cute. But also it kind of taught him how to brush his teeth in a way that I didn't expect it to. And now that he has teeth, I brush his teeth twice a day, so in the morning and in the evening. Him like biting this and getting used to like that sensation really helped. I also make sure that he watches me brush my teeth every single day in the morning as well. So I'll just let him like sit down and watch me brush my teeth. So I think that's all really important for a newborn and for, I guess, a toddler. He's an infant. Is he an infant? Yeah, for an infant. These teething toys really help for kind of building up to that stage for when they do actually get teeth and they do have to brush their teeth. To be honest, the thing that I found the most useful were frozen peas. Guys, I'm telling you, the thing that you need is absolutely free and it's in your freezer. Frozen peas, he loves it. I just give him one frozen pea, he'll put it in his mouth, he'll suck it, and then he'll make it soft and then he'll swallow it. And that really soothes his gums. So maybe consider that if you're thinking about trying to help your child. Oh, another thing that it's good for is it helps with the pincer grasp as well. So by having like loads of peas on his table, he kind of picks up with his fingers like this and fights the roll and then picks it up and puts it in his mouth. So it helps build that grasp as opposed to the kind of like the whole fist grasp that they do when they're first born. Okay, moving on towards the end, we're towards the end now. For playing, again, like I said, we didn't get any toys, we didn't get a baby gym, we didn't get anything like that. But what we did get was a fish like mat for tummy time. We don't use it anymore, obviously, because he now can crawl and stand and everything, is basically walking almost. But we did use it for a couple of weeks in the beginning, and I kind of wish I got it a bit earlier. You can kind of like fill it up with water, and then they lie down on it with their stomach, and they're able to like play with the fish that are inside. And yeah, it kind of encourages them to stay on their stomach a little bit more than what they would normally do, because they hate being on their stomach. So if you're someone that is thinking about buying something for your newborn, I recommend it. It was really cheap, inexpensive, very easy to set up. Just put some water into it, put it down, easy to like store away as well. And definitely something that I found that Sufyan really loved and was helpful, I think, for like his tummy time experience. towards the end, these are like random miscellaneous things. This was such, this, if you can buy one, if you buy one thing for yourself, get yourself an Instamax camera. I got gifted this by my lab when I graduated from my PhD. So this wasn't for the baby, but I've used it so much with him. I used it when he was born in the hospital. I use it every single month to take pictures. Like this was on Eid day, me and my husband. This is him and his like friend. We met up. This was like when he was 3 months. I've got so many more pictures of him. And this was his 8-month-old birthday when he turned 8 months. Again, that's him crawling, and then that's him standing. And I just love that you can kind of like, I'm one of those write a letter and post it to you type of people. And I love that I can print this out, it's instant. I don't have to like scroll on my phone. I've just stuck so many on my fridge and on my like photo wall, and I can just look at it and see him, and it's so quick. It prints it straight away. It makes an instant memory of that moment. And I've given some to like my family and my in-laws when I took a picture of him for, I can't remember what month it was, but I gave one to my in-laws so they can stick it up on the wall. And yeah, I just really love this, and I love that it's an instant memory, and I've collected one for every single month so far. And I highly recommend, if you ask for a gift, get one of these. And they're also great for other things too, so it's a multi-purpose gift, I suppose. And the last essential is a Tommee Tippee first aid kit. I mean, it can be whatever, but I found that Tommee Tippee one contained like, I guess the most important things. Nails grow so fast and they're so sharp. They actually hurt. So imagine how they, like when they're scratching their face, and he actually scratches his face so much. So I cut his nails every couple of weeks. That has a good nail clip in it. It had like a nail file as well. Basically we've used everything inside that pack. If we didn't have that, we would have bought it individually. So I highly recommend getting like it's called first aid, but it didn't have anything like first aid-y. But it has the things that you need for a newborn. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. Obviously my list is a lot longer than this. I do have other stuff that I have got for him, and I'll include them in the links down below. The video should be too long, so I included the things that I absolutely couldn't live without. And I'd love to know if there are any essentials that you would highly recommend for like this age group, so from 9 months to I guess like a year, 2 years. Let me know, because I am looking into things that I might need to get him for his next development. It never ends, guys, it never ends. For his next stage, what do I need? So let me know, and good luck if you are giving birth soon. You'll be absolutely fine. All of these material things don't matter. You and your child are healthy and safe and loved. That's the most important thing. Nothing else matters. And that's something that I want to make sure that comes across. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and it was a bit different, but do subscribe to see more from me, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.